Hi, this is Irving Steele, your host of Local Issues, and today we're really excited to have a special guest from the Chamber of Commerce of Eastern Connecticut. He is leading the innovation and community engagement over there. It is Kevin Zhang. So welcome to the show, Kevin. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, great. Well, I've just seen you out in the community doing so much, trying to kind of partner in community engagement with a lot of the different members of the chamber.
Yeah,
And I think a lot of the focus recently has been on this new innovation center that you're leading. Is that right?
that's correct. Yes. Yeah.
So you want to tell us a little bit, what is this innovation center and why should the community know about it and try and support it?
So the Regional Innovation Center, it's we opened in October 2023, so a little over a year now. The Innovation Center is fully owned and operated by the Chamber of Commerce. Our mission is to serve as a business incubator and a resource hub for the region. And we provide affordable and below market rate, for office spaces, and that pretty much includes everything, right? From utilities, parking, internet access, and all that good stuff. Beyond that, we also host a variety of programs and events that are designed to help businesses launch and sustain and grow. Now, that's in a nutshell, that's what we do in the
Awesome.
Innovation Center.
Maybe we could take a step back a little bit. You mentioned it kind of acts as a business incubator, and
Yeah.
maybe some of our viewers aren't certain about exactly what a business incubator is. Can you share what is a business incubator?
Well, let's take this for example, right? So if say you want to start a business, you don't know where to start.
It's hard.
It is very hard, in which we're gonna talk more about that on later. First of all, funding is an issue. For someone who's starting out, you don't have a lot of funding. Even the office space, you go out there, a office space could probably cost you like $2,000-3,000, and plus utility, taxes, and all that stuff. We provide that office space for you. With the office space starts at $800, for a small office. So that the incubator essentially is to help you cut back on costs. We also on site we provide a lot of resources like business advisor, and funding opportunities, workshop that helps you build your business, all that stuff.
And I also saw, thanks for the explanation, and I also saw that there's a decent amount of kind of ask the expert. So when you're first starting a new business, or maybe it's your first time, maybe it's your fifth time, you're not necessarily an expert in every functional area, whether it's marketing or taxes or finance or HR, these different elements. But I saw that at the Innovation Center, there's an opportunity, there's different experts there.
Correct.
That you can kind of go and talk to them and get some wisdom and knowledge from them. You want to share a little bit about that?
So yeah, we just launched this program. As a matter of fact, this week it's our first week. Essentially what it is, it's every first full week of the month, we have one industry expert that was stationed in the Innovation Center with a desk. Anybody, it's free of charge. Anybody could just, go online and register a time slot, 30 minutes, to come in and ask anything related to the topics, right? The topics covered are such as, Mondays are IT. Today we have accounting and banking. Tomorrow we have HR and recruiting. On Thursday we have funding and business advising, and on Friday you have marketing strategies.
Okay.
Yeah. So essentially, the basic need essentials to run your business, we have a topic to cover that.
And to take advantage of these opportunities, you need to be a member of the Innovation Center, or you need to be a member of the chamber. Anybody in the community can go?
You do not have to be a member of anything.
Anybody in
anybody.
Eastern Connecticut?
Or the whole U.S. if you want to fly in, that's perfectly fine too.
Yeah, so anyone can take advantage. That's an amazing
correct.
opportunity.
Yep.
And it's free, 30 minutes, you sign up, and then you can talk to an expert.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Because one thing that we've kind of touched upon a little bit on the show in previous episodes, and you and I in discussion, is just the importance of new businesses, small businesses starting and creating jobs for the economy. And right now, maybe you could share a little bit about the chamber, of how many members do you have? How many companies are you interacting with? Do you have any rough idea in terms of that?
Yeah, so like I should probably start with, giving a brief history of the chamber.
Yeah.
We've been around for 115 years now.
Wow.
We are one of the oldest and largest chamber here in Connecticut. As you mentioned, we cover the whole eastern region. Currently, we have over 1,000 members. And what are the other questions?
Yeah, so what is some of kind of the mission and goal of the chamber? Obviously to support businesses, support job creation, and
Yep.
we just heard from Congressman Courtney last week that Eastern Connecticut right now is a thriving economic zone that I think in all of New England is one of the fastest growing in terms of new jobs and job opportunities, in large part thanks to the support of the commerce supporting the different member companies, right?
Yep. Yeah. And that, you just mentioned the luncheon with Joe Courtney. We are a team of 11 people, so we are always busy.
Yep.
We are our, each of us are like our own department, handles, certain, aspect of the, the duties of what we do. But, like traditional chambers, we do a lot of, events, networking events. It's our bread and butter. A little different is not only we focus on community-based events, we also focus on like, business, focused events, and legislative events as well as the one you've been to. For a very good example, we are looking into hosting an AI breakfast/luncheon. Now, still trying to figure out what exactly we want to do, but we want to hosting something that's on trend, that what everybody's talking about, event that would educate the community to how to, use what's currently available to us, and just utilize that and best, stay ahead, of the competition.
It's a hot topic. You see it in the news all the time, AI, and obviously large companies are taking advantage of it, and NVIDIA is very popular these days, but
Yeah.
that'd be a great idea. How can the average person or maybe some of these member companies in our community take advantage and learn from AI?
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be surprised. A lot of times that when I talk to people, obviously, AI just comes up a lot. They don't know how to use it. They don't know, they heard of it. They don't know what the prompts to use. Like, I think it's important, to show people what's capable of, then why they're not afraid of using it. A lot of big corporations is already incorporating, AI use into their daily work routine. And that being said, if small business is not utilizing it, you are you are getting pushed out. So, and that's what one of the the mission of Chamber is to help the small business community to continue to sustain and thrive.
And that's what innovation is all about, I think, is kind of as much as possible trying to stay at the forefront, learning these new technologies, learning these new things. Just the other day, a friend of mine was telling me about Apply Hero. I'm not sure if you heard of this. It's an AI tool where for $28 a month, it automatically applies to 300 jobs a month for somebody. So job search is obviously very hard for many people. So from small, medium, large companies to individuals, they can all learn and take advantage of AI, it seems like.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, it's lucky that you guys have this building now down in New London that you own, that you have a beautiful space to have these different events and gatherings. Is that right?
Yes, like you not only just what you mentioned as an expert program, we also have we recently just launched another initiative, which is monthly workshop. That's to educate people on like topic focused things such as like for example, February we have taxes. We have a workshop that's focused on taxes. We also have another workshop that's focused on funding for minority entrepreneurs. On come March, we'll have another one that's focused on how to build trust with your team, and then another one with CPR. A lot of people don't have that knowledge, obviously, and it's scary.
Yeah.
Further down the line, we have like someone in the talks like more business focused stuff, and I should say the fraud prevention is another one that we are looking to host.
Cool. So kind of some safety areas along those
Yep.
lines. And out of all your members, do you have any rough idea how many are for-profit companies, how many are nonprofit companies? Because both for and nonprofit companies can be a member, right?
That's correct. Nonprofit members, has lower dues. Now, obviously, because they're a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm. But they
Um,
can still be members.
They could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They pay a lower membership dues.
Okay.
I don't have that number, in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, but we have, I would say, definitely more for-profit than nonprofits.
Yeah, because we know in Eastern Connecticut there's many, many nonprofits here, and they're doing tremendous work in the community, a lot of services that the government and other companies want to do, but there's also a lot of for-profit companies as well.
Absolutely. A funny story. When I first started, for here at the chamber, I quickly learned that there's so many acronyms out there. Like this is just like a nonprofit word. There's so many different ABCs out there. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-blowing.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot, yeah. And maybe you want to share a little bit, how did you end up at the chamber? It seems like it's a role that kind of fits you and your background a little bit, that you're entrepreneurial, you've kind of started your own companies, you've written a book and all these different things. So do you want to share a little bit how you are a perfect fit for this innovation role?
Oh my God, where do I start? I am a man of, I think we have this conversation before. I'm a man of many hobbies. Throughout my, just my career history alone, I've done casino marketing. I've been in the legal industry, retail, e-commerce, all that stuff. I should probably backtrack a little bit where I started my first business right before college.
Before college?
Right before college.
That's a tough time.
Yeah, it's interesting. That was probably around 2004, 2003, because that's when I graduated high school. Friend of mine sold me a cell phone that's all beat up for $20. I always had the knack of taking things apart. So somehow I took it apart, I spray painted it to something like a entire different design. I sold that phone for $400 on eBay.
Wow.
Talk about profit margin.
That's a good profit margin.
Yeah, right? So that's how I realized, like, oh, I could actually, make money by doing this. So throughout my college years, I built a cell phone refurbishing business. Unfortunately, I lost that during the recession in 2008. So I ended up in Mohegan Sun, working for casino marketing.
Okay.
Did that for a few years. I saw an opportunity that came about. A law firm offered me a position to manage the office. So, I'm always looking to learn new things and grow. So I took that opportunity. Spent a couple of years, managing the office. Turns out it was not my forte.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
sometimes that's the best way to find out is
Right.
you have the courage to go try something.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a great fit, you stick with it for a while. Sometimes it's not a great fit, and you have the courage to kind of adapt and change.
Yeah, that's why I always say, right, you never know until you try.
Never know.
Yeah.
And never say never.
Yeah, there you go. And so 2016, I decided to leave that job and decided to venture out and do something with my lifelong hobby, which I built science fiction robot models as a hobby. You're probably familiar with it because you spent some time in China. Gundam models a big culture over there. So I also competed internationally for several times.
There's competitions for this.
Oh yes, that's a whole different story. But quickly, Japan, Bandai, a company that produced those models, they host an international competition every year.
Every year.
What they do is they pick, I think at this point it's probably 15 countries now. They would pick one winner from, you have to go do like regional, national, and then World Series. They would pick one winner in 15 different countries, and they fly them to Japan for the World Finals. So I represented U.S. for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
It's like the Olympics of models.
Yeah, that being said, I've gained a small amount of fandom, and from that, I was able to actually write a book on how to build those models.
Okay.
So that started my, second business, my second business venture. For that year and a half, pretty much what I did was um, I wrote the book. I did a book tour. At the same time, also did a lot of freelance for like digital marketing stuff. So that sustained me for a couple of years. One thing that people don't realize at the time, now, they probably a lot of people know what that is now. That's when you work with Molly at home by yourself, you get extremely bored. Right? I'm the type of person that I constantly crave for like the human connection. I need to be talking to somebody.
We're social creatures. We're something a part of us that we like and enjoy to be interacting with others.
So yeah, that. So 2 years down, like 2018, at the beginning of 2018, I decided that I need to be somewhere than not home. So that's how I ended up in Mohegan Sun again.
Well, before for the book tour, you were going internationally on this book tour to promote your book over a couple years, right? You went to different countries.
Yeah, China, Taiwan, Thailand, Hong Kong, a couple of just within here domestically. It's went to Comic-Cons in like Texas.
Wow.
And another one in San Francisco.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun. Definitely, some of the best time of my life. Yeah.
I'm curious too, before we jump back to your story, is that you hear a lot that someone says, hey, I have this amazing story, I want to write a book, or I had this great adventure, I'm going to write a book, or make a movie, or something like this, or have this idea to make a project. I feel like a lot of people, I think Thomas Jefferson said something like it's 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Like the main crux is actually going and doing it, the hard work to get a finished product.
Yeah.
What advice would you have for our viewers of people who maybe want to write a book or people who maybe have an idea? What made it so you could take it to the next step and actually go do it? Do you have any advice for our viewers along those lines?
When I interviewed for this particular book years ago, my advice to people was, I think it's still the same. Don't think about money. Because chances are when you write a book, just bazillions of like authors out there, they write books. Like, do it for your passion first. Right?
Have that why.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have to have a marketing plan, to back you up if you want to be successful. But my theory for anything in life is always have passion first. You have to have the passion before you can succeed, right? And then just work hard.
Yep.
Yeah, like anybody would tell you, just work hard.
Kind of.
I remember when I have all the material in hand, but when you actually have to put everything together, that process was me being locked down in my basement for 8 months. Wow. To put this thing together. Right. So that's something you gotta expect, right? It's a lot of work. Might not be worth it, but you are chasing a dream, and that's important, right? So.
You never know till you try.
Never know until you try. Keep coming back to that.
Yeah, definitely.
And lucky for me, it worked out for me for that couple of years. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so then back to your story that after the book tour, you're all over the world promoting the book, then you were back to the casino.
Yeah. And I was there for another 3 years, and obviously COVID hit, and everything just kind of went poof. And that's also when I met my my wife now.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Kind of gives me a wake-up call, so to speak. Like when I decided, okay, I want to be with this girl for the rest of my life, and the lifestyle at the time was just not suitable. Without going into too much details, but that job requires me to be on call 24/7.
Yeah.
So not much of very little, work and life balance.
No boundaries. Yeah.
So I left, and at the time I decided I really want to focus on something else rather than sales. I want to do something with my digital marketing stuff again. So I actually helped a friend launch a cigar lounge in Montville, Connecticut. So I did that for a year and a half. I did all the marketing stuff. Turns out it's currently rated as one of the best cigar lounges in the country. So,
Wow.
which is fantastic.
Seems like you continue to have different digital marketing experiences, and
Keeps coming back.
Yeah,
to that.
it keeps coming back.
to that. It's just my love for tech.
you know,
One thing I didn't mention is my lifelong passion. It's always gonna be. I hope it's always gonna be art and tech. Yeah.
it's a nice intersection, kind of the creativity with
Yeah.
actual the product side too.
Yeah. And after that, I spent a couple of years working for a Germany-based company. It's a technology company for digital marketing and sales for a couple of years, and a lot of travel. I was, I think, a year and a half there. I was traveling every another month for a week, so hardly ever home.
That's hard.
Kind of defeats the purpose of leaving the casino now that I'm thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
So, so I wanted something more stable. And at the time, this job opened up. I look at the job description, it's perfect for me, right? As they need someone to manage the center that basically someone that's jack of all trades. Now, when I say managing the center, I mean anything from changing a light bulb
Yeah.
to running programs and events like what we just talked about at the Entrepreneurial Academy and Ask an Expert, that kind of stuff. So it was a perfect fit. Somehow, like my messy career pattern just kind of brought me here today. It's kind of almost like it was meant to be. That's actually exactly what I said during the interview. Like, it's meant to be, Tony.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I think that's a good piece of advice for our viewers as well, that most career paths aren't just linear, where you go and you started a company and stay there for 40 years, like maybe previous generations, that it's okay to maybe zig and zag a little bit, and eventually you find a fit where you say it's just meant to be for you.
Yeah.
So it's pretty exciting that you had the courage to continue to try and find that path.
You don't know when you until you try.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So.
And so far at the Chamber, it's been over a year for you, right?
Almost.
Almost a year.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you see? I'm curious, because you interact with lots of different companies, lots of different members. What do you kind of see as some of the biggest challenges for the companies and for people trying to start the companies here? What do you hear as a common thread?
Quite a few things. What I mentioned earlier about you gotta have a lot of passion for you to start anything, right? That's just the thing. Most of the people I come across, they have a whole lot of passion, but they lack the second ingredient.
What is that?
Readiness. Right. They don't do enough research before getting into a business. A couple of examples I could list for you. When I first started last year, a restaurant owner comes to me. They were having such hard time acquiring a liquor license. Come to find out, we stepped in and tried to help them and talk about how we could help in terms of, again, permits and licensing, go through. The problem with them is they're first-time business owners. They didn't know what they were getting into, and they were, for example, the one of the biggest thing is for you to get a liquor license, you need a bill of sale. A formal bill of sale requires, typed up, signed, all that good stuff. Their version of bill of sale was a handwritten note in Thai.
Wow.
And just, sign, and then I receive a copy of it. And obviously, the biggest challenge for them is the seller and then have moved back to Thailand. So you can't really have them come back and sign another bill of sale. So there was a lot of, going back and forth with the state, can we do this, can we do that? And lucky enough, we were able to finally help them get their liquor license after 3 months of trying. So yeah, those are things you need to, like readiness, right? You need to know what you need to like licensing and like permits. It's your zone fit for what you're trying to look for, what you're trying to build. Those are things that the challenge they face.
Okay.
And then of course funding.
Funding is always an issue.
Funding is always an issue. But I think Connecticut, itself has a lot of funding opportunities. Not enough for startups, in my opinion. But if you've been in business for over a year, there are a lot of funding like grants, low interest loans you could apply for, and which is one thing that we do here in the Innovation Center. We give you guidance on how to look for those funds.
Yeah, there's a lot of different banks, grant opportunities, and the startup opportunity that you guys had, the competition was what, $5,000 or $10,000 for the winner?
So you're talking about Entrepreneurial Academy. Yeah, the prize pool was 5,000. Yeah.
So there's different opportunities like that as well.
Yep. Yeah. So that program is actually designed to help any aspiring entrepreneur trying to start a business. It's an 8-week program. Anybody could sign up. It teaches you how to do market research, the accounting, legal entities, and marketing, access to funding, essentially everything that you need to get you started.
Great. And there's also, I believe, 2 sides of the chamber. There's the actual chamber, which is a nonprofit, but then there's also the Chamber Foundation, right?
Yes.
And so as part of the Chamber Foundation, you guys support lots of different nonprofits and different organizations in the community.
Yep.
Is that kind of like an annual basis? People apply for grants and support
That's correct. Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned that. The current grant cycle, it's open for the month. Any nonprofit that has any needs for funding, please feel free to go on our website and then apply for those grants. Yeah.
Awesome. And we just have a couple minutes left here, so I'm curious, first of all, how do you think that the chamber can best support people and organizations in the community? What would you say is kind of the main thing that you are able to do?
We support the community by various of networking events, with guidance to how you should how to run your business, like access to funding, and all that stuff.
Really building that community of different companies interacting, supporting each other.
Yeah, and workshops that I mentioned, it's designed to help anybody who is not certain of certain area of expertise. They have to come in and learn about it and all that stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can kind of end on, if people want to find out more about you, about the Innovation Center, about the Chamber, how could they maybe get in contact with you, or how could they support you and your work there? Do you want to share any information about that?
I don't know if you could put up the prompt here, saying that with my email address here, but they could feel free to stop by the Regional Innovation Center.
It's right downtown New London.
Right down in London, 92 Eugene O'Neill in New London, Connecticut. We're open 8:30 to 4:30 p.m. and 90% of the time I'm on site. So.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day
for
to
having
share
me.
your story.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Cut.